This Teraflex Falcon Nexus EF 2.2 adjustable steering stabilizer is for those of you that have a 2007 and up JK and are looking for an adjustable and very high quality steering stabilizer. This stabilizer is going to install onto your Jeep very simply. It is going to come with all of the brackets and hardware that you need to get it bolted up. So definitely 1 out of 3 wrench installation, just a socket set to get it done in about an hour's time. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Now, when you're shopping for steering stabilizers, or more accurately steering dampeners, it is important to note exactly what they do and what they do not do. Now, a steering stabilizer or dampener is actually more of a luxury than it is a necessity, even if you have a big lift on your Jeep. Just because you've lifted your Jeep, you're running big tires, doesn't mean that you have to spend over $300 on a fancy steering stabilizer. A factory stabilizer will work just fine, and to be completely honest, if your steering is set up properly, if your suspension geometry is correct, you don't even need to run a stabilizer. That being said, if you are running some higher speed stuff, if you are hitting big bumps on the road and getting a little bit of that jarring feeling coming up through your steering linkage and into the steering wheel that you do want to dampen down, then a stabilizer is a good idea. And if you want an incredibly well-built one with adjustability, with all the bells and whistles, and you have the budget for it, then this is going to be an excellent option. However, like I said before, if you're just looking for a basic steering stabilizer, an OE or OEM replacement will work just fine as well. This is going to be made of very high quality materials. It's going to have a patent pending design. It is going to be adjustable, as I mentioned before. Just by nature of its design, it also relocates the stabilizer up out of the way, so you're not going to damage it as easily out on the trail. So this does have a ton of features. If you're looking for that, you have the budget, it's going to be a good option. So like I said, very well built, made of T6061 anodized aluminum, so it's very high quality aluminum, also has that anodized finish on it to help protect it even further. This is tested with a salt spray, so even if you live in the Rust Belt like we do, you're driving on the road, this thing's getting sandblasted from road debris, it is going to hold up and continue to look good for a very long time, as well as continue to work really well. Now, the way this works is it has a clamp built right into it, and that's designed to fit on your factory tie rod, so you'll be able to use your factory mount on this end, clamp it right onto the tie rod on the other end. You'll actually be getting rid of that factory steering stabilizer mount in favor of this one, which is going to allow for easy adjustment to make sure that you get this thing adjusted properly as far as the length goes and the positioning goes. It makes the installation very easy, and as I mentioned before, because you're not using the factory mount, it is flipping this up on top of the tie rod, which is going to keep it safe from the rocks when you are hitting the trail. Now, right over here, you're going to have your adjustment. So you're going to be able to go from soft, medium, all the way up to a firm feel on your steering stabilizer itself. So what that's essentially going to do is give you a little bit of a tighter or looser all the way up in the steering wheel thanks to this. Now, if you are going to be running this on a firm setting, there is a chance that you're going to be creating a little bit of additional wear and tear on the rest of your steering components and the rest of your steering linkage. But if you do like that feeling, that is going to be available to you. The nice thing about this is it's still going to be a hydraulic shock. It is going to be adjustable, which is where that 2.2 comes from, and the EF in the name means equal force, so it really is designed to give you that equal feel from both sides when you're turning left or turning right. So it's going to be really well-rounded. If you are going to be running it on that firm setting, there's a chance that you're going to have some additional wear and tear on your steering linkage. However, if you like that feeling, that setting is going to be available to you. So like I said, very well built, has the adjustability, it has a lot going on, and it does have a lot of features to it, but this is not going to be a necessary upgrade for those of you that are just running a larger tire. You can get away with a much simpler, much less expensive steering stabilizer, but if you want the bells and whistles, you want something that's well built, you have the budget for it, this is available as well. So like I said before, easy 1 out of 3 wrench installation, about an hour's time this will take to get installed. The first step is removing the factory steering stabilizer by unbolting it from both of its mounts. Then you can pry open that factory mount on the tie rod and remove it because you will not need it. Then you can attach this onto the tie rod and also onto the axle side mount, making your adjustments, turning the wheel left to right, lock to lock, to ensure that this isn't going to max out one way or the other. Tighten all your clamps and then you're done. From there, it's just a matter of driving the Jeep. You can make adjustments on the firmness setting as you like. This stabilizer is going to run you right around $315, and that is going to be a good bit of money for a steering stabilizer. There are some that are more expensive, but there are certainly a lot that are less expensive that are still going to work as a steering stabilizer just fine. So if you're just looking to replace a bent, broken, or leaking steering stabilizer, you don't need or want a bunch of bells and whistles. Go ahead and get yourself an OEM replacement for $30, $50, $80, and that will work just fine for you. If you have the budget, you want top of the line, you want adjustability, you want bells and whistles, then I do think that this is going to be worth those additional dollars. So if you want a really well-built steering stabilizer with a ton of bells and whistles, I definitely recommend this one from Teraflex, and you can find it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.